right now, a best friend and an amazing person. We're going to hear from members of the Baraboo community who are grieving the loss of a high schooler. Plus, there's no Freak Fest this weekend, but we're going to have plenty of live pictures from Halloween celebrations downtown.
We were a very, well-oiled crew shooting a film together, and then this horrible event happened.
And later, as you just saw, Alec Baldwin speaks in public for the first time since last month's deadly shooting on a movie set. That's all coming up at 10. We are learning more tonight about a deadly crash yesterday morning in Baraboo that left 2 people dead, including a student of Baraboo High School. Our Tahalil Mohodin was in Sauk County tonight speaking with the community in mourning.
News of the accident that took place on this road has been devastating for so many, and the friends of those who lost their life in that accident tell me they're still grieving, but finding comfort in one another.
We were her best friends.
It was supposed to be us 3.
Best friends Abby Kolk and Jordan Fleischman are missing the 3rd member of their trio.
She was just one of a kind, an amazing person, so selfless, and she was just the best friend that I could ever ask for.
Their friend and fellow Baraboo senior was one of 5 people who were in a car that crashed into a tree Friday morning.
Someone called me, and I just fell to the ground, and I couldn't believe it.
The accident on County Road A in Fairfield put 3 people in the hospital and left 2 more dead.
It seemed like maybe I was having a bad dream, or it wasn't real, it couldn't be. I just seen them, they were just alive and breathing and well, and then they weren't.
The crash, which involved 4 Baraboo High School students, happened outside of Ab's Trucking. The owner says he wasn't there when it happened, but understands what friends are going through.
I had a friend in high school that died in a car accident.
So he wanted to help.
Park in here in my parking lot on the edge and not on the side of the road.
A road, he says, is dangerous.
If you pull out to the end of this and you look left, you know, even if you don't see a car coming, as soon as you go to take off, there could be one coming over the hill, at least going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
As for those seeking refuge in his lot, they say they're trying their best to stay strong.
She wouldn't want us to be sad. She'd want us to be happy. So just try to stay positive, think of the great memories you had with her, and always remember everything.
And making a promise.
I'm going to make sure that your legacy lives on and on, because you deserve it, and I just love you, and I'm going to miss you so much.
Friends and family will be given a space to come together tomorrow afternoon at Baraboo High School Stadium. Grief counseling will be available on site for students in need of support. In Baraboo, Tahlil Mohodin, News 3 Now.
Medical examiner has not identified the 2 victims of the crash just yet. Next at 10, here's a live look of State Street tonight, where Halloween celebrations are living out even without Freak Fest. The city canceled downtown Madison's biggest Halloween celebration, with local health experts still concerned about COVID case numbers and the Delta variant. But that doesn't mean festivities aren't happening tonight. The Wisconsin State Journal reported today that extra police will be downtown and access to parts of State Street will be limited to drivers. Well, some trick-or-treat festivities got underway in Madison today. Good Shepherd's Church hosted a trunk-or-treat event with kids picking up candy around the church's parking lot. That's a great shot right there of a nice dog. We'll have much more on the trick-or-treating options in our area coming up in about 10 minutes. Well, this is an important question. Will your child wearing a Spider-Man costume tomorrow need a jacket to go along with it? Our meteorologist Austin Kopninski is outside and has that answer.
Yeah, I would say keep that jacket on hand here for tomorrow. Temperatures are still looking very seasonable. Tomorrow's going to be about as average gets. We have an expected high of 51 degrees. Average high temperature tomorrow is 52 degrees. Then we're going to see some sunshine as well. Mostly sunny skies expected. So tomorrow an overall winter. I'll have a more detailed look at your trick-or-treat forecast a little bit later on. But outside right now, it's 40 degrees. It's definitely on the cooler side of things overall. Our Doppler track is staying dry, however, so that's great news right there. It does look like our temperatures, again, really cooling down. 46 degrees in Wisconsin Dells, 37 in Camp Douglas, and 32 on the dot right now in Black River Falls. So some of our northern communities really have cooled down. Most of us are going to bottom out in those upper 30s here in the overnight hours. Thankfully, there's no wind. There hasn't been any wind here over these last few hours, and we're looking at a very, very nice forecast for tomorrow. But even tonight, something interesting is actually going to be happening overhead. A lot of us are going to sleep right through it, but some might get a glimpse of something pretty cool. So make sure you stay tuned. I'll detail what that is coming up a little bit later on in the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Austin. You get up to the minute forecast tomorrow by downloading our First Warn weather app. Just search WISC weather in the App Store. Well, Indy is not off the table for the Badgers after knocking off the Hawkeyes today at Camp Randall. Wisconsin still controls its own destiny when it comes to possibly winning the Big Ten West. Sports anchor Jordan Reed is in studio tonight breaking down a dominant performance.
Well, yeah, another epic chapter is being added to the Wisconsin and Iowa rivalry. And like you just said, after today's win, the Badgers are just one step closer to possibly punching their ticket to the Big Ten championship. Now, all eyes on this storied matchup as the Badgers look to solidify their stance in the Big Ten West. And that didn't take long for Wisconsin's offense to get into a groove. Graham Mertz connects with Jake Ferguson at the back of the end zone for their first score. Now on the flip, Badgers defense just shuts down Iowa. The Hawkeyes are only able to pick up 40 yards on the ground. That helps Wisconsin win by 20 on homecoming weekend.
This game was a big game for us because it was the opportunity we had this week. And I love the fact that guys were all into this week. And want them, just told them, want them to appreciate all that goes into winning a game. And then we get to come back tomorrow and we get to do it again.
We've got more on this one coming up in sports, specifically how the Badgers defense is now celebrating their turnovers.
Yes, and they have a lot of turnovers to celebrate indeed. Well, check this out. The biggest win in the Big Ten today was in East Lansing. Michigan State knocked off previously undefeated Michigan, and Sparty fans, well, they decided to, some of them at least, decided to turn to destruction. Police say people torched couches and even vandalized cars. Officers have said that they've made some arrests, thankfully, and also luckily, no one's been hurt so far. Well, new tonight, the Bucs are expected to visit President Biden in the White House next month. ESPN is reporting the visit's going to happen Tuesday, November 8th. No NBA champion has visited the White House since the 2016 Cavs met up with former President Obama. Speaking of presidents, current President Biden is still overseas tonight, meeting with leaders of some of the world's wealthiest nations in Rome for the first in-person G20 summit since the start of the pandemic. One issue on the agenda, what to do about Iran's growing nuclear efforts. CBS News' Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
With handshakes and photo ops, President Biden and world leaders gathered in person at the G20 summit in Rome.
The pandemic has kept us apart, as it did with all our citizens. And even before, we faced protectionism, unilateralism, nationalism.
In his opening remarks, Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi said wide disparities in the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines are, quote, morally unacceptable and undermine the global economic recovery. Leaders also discussed ways to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions amid efforts to revive the 2015 deal with Tehran the Trump administration pulled out of. President Biden was asked when he wanted talks with Iran to resume. President Biden and the leaders of Germany, France, and Britain issued a joint statement saying they are determined to, quote, ensure that Iran can never develop or acquire a nuclear weapon. On the economic front, the G20 members unanimously endorsed a global 15% minimum tax on corporations. Before the summit wraps up Sunday, leaders will address the global supply chain bottleneck. Then President Biden and others head to Scotland for a UN climate change conference that kicks off on Monday. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
As G20 leaders met, the White House announced today that the U.S. and European Union are settling their differences over the Trump-era steel and aluminum tariffs. In D.C. today, Vice President Kamala Harris received her COVID booster shot. She's asking more Americans to consider getting the vaccine. The VP first received her dose of the Moderna shot last December. The White House says she qualified for the booster because her job includes frequent travel and interacting with people. Next at 10, 3-year-old Major Harris was buried today in Madison. Now, we did ask the funeral home if news media was invited, and the family said they wanted this event to remain private. Harris was a 3-year-old boy at the center of an Amber Alert earlier this month. He was found dead in Milwaukee last week. On Monday, the medical examiner said Major was likely killed around the same time as his mother, and she was buried in La Crosse earlier this week. New tonight, we are hearing from Alec Baldwin for the first time since this month's deadly shooting on the set of an upcoming movie, Rust. Baldwin and his wife pulled over to the side of the road in Vermont today to talk with paparazzi following his car. And in a 4-minute clip posted on TMZ, the actor voiced his support for stronger safety measures on set.
Some new measures have to take place. Rubber guns, plastic guns, no real armaments on set. That's not for me to decide. It's urgent. It's urgent that you understand I'm not an expert in this field. So whatever other people decide is the best way to go in terms of protecting people's safety on film sets, I'm all in favor of, and I will cooperate with that in any way that I can.
Earlier this week, investigators in New Mexico said they found 500 rounds of ammunition on set, including blanks, dummy rounds, and suspected live rounds. Baldwin was the person who accidentally fired the round that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Right now, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office says it isn't ruling out any charges. Coats for Kids is back this weekend. Coming up next at 10, as the temps go down, we're going to find out where you can pick up some winter gear. And it will be another pandemic Halloween. Why doctors say this year is going to be different, and where you can take your kids to trick or treat tomorrow after the break.
Black November starts now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Save up to 40% off top brand appliances while they last. Plus special no-interest financing on appliances with no minimum purchase. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
This is Ford Truck Month. Time to take a ride in the all-new 2021 Ford F-150 with an available 12-inch touchscreen, an available interior work surface, and for powerful performance on demand, a class-exclusive available Pro-Power onboard mobile generator. These are America's best-selling trucks. This is Ford Truck Month. Inventory levels are coming back up, making Truck Month the time to get an F-150 with 0 for 72 and 1,000 retail order bonus.
When the hands that do the fixing need fixing. When the hands that do the caring need caring. That's a job for O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream and guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Matt, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
4 Super Bowls, 6 AFC championships. You?
Award-winning customer service, up to 30% off your auto insurance with Safe Pilot, made for the military community.
And who else?
That's all. USAA, only for the military community.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
The LG Wash Tower. Redefine laundry in half the space.
The grand opening of Furniture and Appliance Mart in Madison is Friday, November 5th at 10 a.m. Located next to Best Buy on East Springs Drive, the all-new store will feature the area's best selection of new styles, custom furniture, design center, and appliances. Join us at East Springs Drive on Friday, November 5th.
Join us Sunday morning at 6:30. We'll tell you everything you need to know for your Halloween Sunday, including a trick-or-treating forecast, plus highlights from today's homecoming Badgers game against Iowa.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television.
Thousands of coats, mittens, boots, winter gear is all being handed out this weekend at the Coats for Kids annual drive. Over the past 36 years, volunteers have distributed more than 335,000 coats. News 3 Now is a proud sponsor of this donation drive, and they're going to be back at the Monona Terrace Convention Center tomorrow from noon until 7, and at the Goodman Community Center next Saturday from 1 to 7. Well, every 3 minutes, someone in America is diagnosed with blood cancer, and leukemia accounts for nearly half of all cancer diagnoses in kids. Now, Christina Laurie has a story of one boy who's currently battling multiple forms of this disease and shares a way how you can help kids like him this weekend.
Liam Sanborn's heard the words, "You have cancer," 3 times in his life, and he's only 6.
He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia when he was 11 months old.
Liam hit remission only to learn he had a second form of cancer, chronic myeloid leukemia,
which is a really rare for kids to get. It's typically found only in adults, so he was diagnosed with his second form just 3 weeks after ringing the bell on his first form.
Shannon Ratchman got to know Liam and his family when the then 4-year-old was a hero at her organization's Light the Night fundraiser. She says this May, Liam was diagnosed with a 3rd form of cancer, ambiguous lineage leukemia. But she also has some good news. Liam received a bone marrow transplant this month.
He is right now in the hospital, hopefully able to come home soon.
And the whole community is cheering him on.
He also met Diego, who is our mascot, our Grace mascot.
After falling in love with Grace Coffee Company's mascot, a real-life dog named Diego, the local business decided to donate $2 from every s'mores pastry and fall apple drink sold this month to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. With 1 day to go, they've already raised $10,000.
The word cure is something that our mission is aimed for, but it's something really difficult. Each case is something very, very different.
Helping families like Liam's fight.
No 6-year-old should have to deal with this.
And kids like Liam live. In Madison, Christina Laurie, News 3 Now.
Well, hundreds of people dressed in Halloween costumes and are spending the night downtown. You're getting a live look at State Street, and boy, oh boy, there are plenty of people. We've actually been watching it in the break ourselves, and it's cool to see downtown lit up like it is, and hopefully it stays nice and quiet like it is. They did have to cancel Freak Fest, the celebration last month, citing their COVID concerns. Madison police do have officers downtown tonight and have some parts of State Street with limited access for cars. Now, tomorrow will be another Halloween during the pandemic, but health experts say this year is going to be different. Doctors still recommend keeping children who are not eligible for the vaccine safe by staying outside where the virus doesn't spread as easily and trick-or-treating in small groups. And well, there's also chances for you to trick-or-treat with kids tomorrow in South Central Wisconsin. Trick-or-treat hours in Middleton run from 5 until 8 p.m. tomorrow, and in Sun Prairie from 5 until 7. Now remember, in Madison, there are no set trick-or-treating hours. We do have a total list of all those trick-or-treating hours in dozens of communities across our area available on the Channel 3000 News app. Remember, it's free and available in the App Store. Austin, it's going to be a really, really nice night out tomorrow for those trick-or-treaters, isn't it?
It really is. I'm loving this forecast. It's been pretty nice today, and the nice conditions, at least dry conditions, will continue for an extended period of time. No rain chances in our extended forecast. We are going to cool things down, however, for this next week. Temperatures, well, the highs are going to dip down into the 40s, even low 40s at times. But we do have a Halloween treat coming up here for you, and we'll get right on into it. That trick-or-treat forecast right now really looking exceptional, very seasonable as well. So this is usually pretty much where we're at this time of the year on average. It'll be a little bit breezy to start things out early on in the trick-or-treating session. Towards the end, however, temperatures will get a little bit chilly back down into those upper 30s. So if you have a jacket out there, you'll be good to go. Just throw that right over your Spider-Man costume and call it a night. It should be a nice one. But also tonight, we have something pretty interesting happening. The Aurora Borealis, aka the Northern Lights. We could actually see them even here in the Dane County area. And this is because earlier this week on Thursday, an X-class solar flare actually erupted from the sun. Now, it sounds pretty scary, but this is going to bring a G3 geomagnetic storm to our area. And again, that does sound scary, but that scale goes all the way up to 5. And right now, we're not expecting any major implications by any means. But what we are expecting is a good shot at seeing the Aurora Borealis here for tonight. So keep a lookout, keep your eyes to the skies. you might see some pretty lights here in the nighttime hours. Even early tomorrow morning before the sun rises, you might get a good look at it then. Now, in terms of rain chances, again, not seeing any in our extended forecast. Future Track shows some cloud cover early in the morning tomorrow, but then mostly sunny skies break loose again, and it is going to be a nice day. But temperatures not as warm. Upper 40s and low 50s are going to be expected. Speaking of cooler temperatures, however, we cool things right back down here. By the time you reach Monday afternoon, highs only in the mid-40s. So we are going to stay dry. You can see here on our 6 to 10 day temperature or precipitation outlook, not really any rain chances, but we're also going to be pretty close to average near the end of this forecast. So that's the last few days of the forecast. During this next work week, it is going to get quite chilly. So do keep that in mind. Temperatures do fall down here. Highs only in those middle to lower 40s for most of this next week. But hey, no rain chances, so that's great news. I know farmers are going to love that as well. Some are still have to get a little bit of their last crop out of the ground, and I think some dry conditions really will help their case there. And by next week, we're back up in the upper 40s and low 50s, and that's exactly where we should be again here for this time of the year. Brad?
All right, thanks so much, Austin. Well, buckle up, folks, because next we introduce you to the Grit Factory and their CEO. More Badgers highlights right after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At U.S. Cellular, we know the local landscape, so we can help everyone stay connected for less. And less also means more, as in more choice. While the other guys may limit your options, at U.S. Cellular, you choose any phone and we make it free. That's right. Visit our store and any phone you see is free. Plus, get unlimited data for $30 a month and get the most out of our state-of-the-art network, wherever you choose to go. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead, letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead. Take on new challenges and take it to the next level. It's the perfect time to do more in your next Chevy. Find new possibilities, find new roads. Eligible customers get great offers from GM Financial Plus. No monthly payments for 120 days on all 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups and get $1,500 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
I have worked at Huffcore for the last 36 years.
Huffcore closing the plant, moving production to Mexico.
I gave my life and my body to that place. Ron Johnson pushed through a tax law that rewards outsourcing. Companies can bring profits back from Mexico tax-free. And worse, Ron Johnson profited personally from outsourcing. He has doubled his wealth since taking office. Tell Ron Johnson to stop putting his profits above our jobs.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's just a cold. If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Unlike other cold medicines, Coracetin provides powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure. Be there for life's best moments with Coracetin, now in sugar-free liquid.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
Bro, one more time. Where's the drip? Let 'em cut from a different come to my coming to the lane.
Jif peanut butter.
That flow crazy.
It's that jiffing good. Ludacris changed his flow for it.
Wisconsin knocks off its first top 10 opponent since 2019, and with it being Iowa, that means the Heartland Trophy is coming back to Madison. Now, driving this game once again is Wisconsin's defense, proving once again why they're one of the best in the nation. Up 10-0 in the second, Hawkeyes try to cut into their lead, and that's a no-go from the defense. They force a fumble. Noah Burke secures the ball, and that allows Graham Mertz to take it in himself. Wisconsin leads by 20 at halftime. Well, Iowa puts up some points on the board in the second half, but that Badger defense continues to smother, holding them to just 7 points. Wisconsin wins by double digits on homecoming. Mertz finishes with 1 passing touchdown and 2 rushing. And sports director Zach Hanley was out at Camp Randall and has more on the Grit Factory.
It's fitting that on Halloween weekend, the Badgers introduced the Grit Factory, a $7 hat that Colin Wilder bought at Ragstock that you get to wear when you force a turnover. And that word grit epitomizes how this group wants to play.
I got it literally yesterday. I got that hat yesterday and wrote it in Sharpie. And $7 turned into a big-time thing. It's cool.
It's kind of like a, hey, if we get a turnover, let's throw it on. And then kind of just became like, all right, you make a bunch of plays, you get to wear it. So whatever works, whatever can bring us a little juice, a little energy. Coach Chris and Coach Leonard are all aboard.
We're all about, having gritty dudes around and, showing a lot of grit out there on the D. And I think, it kind of showed up today. We saw guys making a lot of plays.
I feel like that's what this program was built on. And, when you talk about the Grit Factory, I mean, this is the factory of grit, the, University of Wisconsin. So, it's so fitting, and, I mean, I just love how it took off. This is awesome.
In the Grit Factory, you know what? It's probably fitting, right? Probably fitting.
Let's go!
So that's back-to-back wins over top 25 teams, but to the Badgers, that doesn't really mean much. Or as they like to say, just got to do it again. At Camp Randall Stadium, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
Undefeated Whitewater hosting Eau Claire for homecoming. Warhawks defense sets the tone early. Kyle Kolblinger lowers the boom and knocks the ball free. Thomas Wojnowski says, thank you very much. 78-yard scoop and score off the first drive of the game. Now, fast forward to the end of the first quarter. Ryan Wisniewski takes the jet sweep to the house. Trickery in the red zone leads to 6 more for the Warhawks. Whitewater on a roll. They cannot be stopped. They run away with this one on homecoming, 48-6. And speaking of grit within Wisconsin athletics, women's hockey, they've had some, gritty wins over the last couple of weekends. Overtime against UMD, then Ohio State. Yesterday, a 1-goal game with Minnesota State. Well, Badgers hoping to break out the brooms today. Tied at 1 after 1, Wisconsin takes over. Casey O'Brien nets the go-ahead early in the second period. Then it's on McKenna Webster. 3 consecutive goals in the third. Her hat trick propels the Badgers to a 6-2 win and another sweep. Wisconsin now 12-0 on the season.
Taken, and there's deflection again by Webster, and it's in.
It's all been building up to this, the state cross-country championships. Casey Martinson toughens out the final few steps as she finishes first for Division II's Southwestern Benton Cuba City in just 18 minutes and 10 seconds, marking her 3rd time being a state champ. Division I girls race, well, it only took a brisk 17 minutes and 44 seconds for Middleton's very own Lauren Pontegro to claim first place. Her finish helped pave the way for the Cardinals to win the Division I championship. And a trip to state is on the line for Evansville and McFarland boys soccer. Spartans on the attack from the get-go. After a couple attempts, Zach Nichols finally gets it to go. McFarland leads early. And they aren't done yet. Nichols brings it right to the doorstep, and Mason Brown finishes it off. Spartans shut out the Blue Devils 3-0, and they are heading to state.
Well, Jordan, I have to ask you.
Yes.
Have you ever heard the word grit used as much as it was in
No,
today's?
I don't. I think we were just talking about that. We should have been keeping a tally or putting something aside every single time we heard it. But I mean, it's so truthful to what they did and what they have been doing. So
I was going to say breaking news. The Badgers are gritty. Thank you. I think we confirmed that after today. Thanks so much, Jordan. We're going to be right back with one last check of the forecast.
This is Ford Truck Month. Time to take a ride in the all-new 2021 Ford F-150 with an available 12-inch touchscreen, an available interior work surface, and for powerful performance on demand, a class-exclusive available Pro-Power onboard mobile generator. These are America's best-selling trucks. This is Ford Truck Month. Inventory levels sales are coming back up, making Truck Month the time to get an F-150 with 0 for 72 and 1,000 retail order bonus.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
It's been over a year, and I was tired of hearing about COVID. I wasn't vaccinated, and I didn't always wear a mask when I should. I thought if I ever did get COVID, I'd be fine. I was wrong. Over the summer, COVID put me in the hospital for over a month. I faced the reality I might die, but luckily, I survived. I made the mistake, but you don't have to. The vaccine is safe, effective, and free. Please don't wait. Vaccinate.
When the hands that do the fixing need fixing. When the hands that do the caring need caring. That's a job for O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream and guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
New Milk-Bone Dipped. A treat so tasty, everyone will want to be a dog. Coated in delicious peanut butter flavored yum. Dog life's more fun with New Milk-Bone Dipped.
The holidays are doubly important this year, so make your celebrations doubly special with our award-winning cave-aged Maurice cheese. Pick and save. Hey, you're right, we can't stop now. Let's take the special up a level with fresh, never frozen prime beef. Still not special enough? Add some surf to that turf with our sustainably caught seafood. Turn your taste buds up to 11 and have a doubly special holiday with Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
Well, finally tonight, alien enthusiasts gathered in Belleville today for the return of UFO Day. The annual event celebrates Belleville's unique history with UFOs just in time for Halloween. The event was started after UFOs were sighted in Belleville back in the 80s. Folks, the weather's going to be perfect. I hope everyone enjoys a perfect Halloween tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Happy Halloween.